Here I am. Forgive me, my eyes are a little poofy. The allergies are awful. Hey, intro music. They're trying something new today. We have Christopher Cross Sailing. What a song, man. Just puts you in a good mood. Hold on. Let's just listen to it a minute. That's good stuff. Let's turn it down a little bit so you can hear me. As if I don't talk loud enough. So today's going to be a little different. I want to start today by saying this morning I weighed in at 197.8. Man, I'm almost like 18-year-old Jason. This is crazy. Let me show you something. Let me show you these amazing legs I have. Tell me these aren't the best calves you ever seen. You see those things? Oh my goodness. That man has got some legs. They've been hurting the last couple days. Allergies. My calves have been killing me. I don't know what's going on. Acupuncture's not till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Oh, get me into that place. I need it bad. I need my physical therapy. So, hello, my keto friends. Hashtag keto. If you haven't watched that keto video, go back and do it. Not right now. Wait. Watch this video. Go ahead and hit like. 24 subscribers is what I have, people. 24 subscribers. There are way more than 24 people out there that need to watch my videos. I got good content. Funny. Serious. You name it. We got it right here. So, an hour ago I wanted to throw a temper tantrum video. I wanted to show people how to do a temper tantrum, but I've calmed down a little bit since that video. I'm going to try to get through this. No temper tantrums today. Let me get adjusted. Let's talk about bad people. Let's talk about learning lessons from bad people. I've had a lot of bad people in my life that were just some really bad, I don't want to say bad influences, but let's say they were just mean and just cruel, just verbally cruel people and mistreat you. And the reason, I've got a problem with this, You've heard of the little man syndrome, right? It's this syndrome where a little guy, when I say little, we're talking 5 foot, 5'5", 5'6". They get this mentality about them to where they are just mean to people because it's like they feel like the world is against them. Okay. And I don't necessarily believe in that case because, granted, I might have a bigger head than what you may have. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm smarter or anything. But what counts is what's up here and what's in here. It doesn't matter how big of a person you are. Okay, I'm 6'2", 197.8 pounds right now. And, it doesn't mean I'm any different than you or anyone. And I've had a really hard time in my life with these types of people, and I want to talk about, and we're going to do it more in depth later on down the road because a couple of you have asked me to share some of these stories with you, but I want to start with, and I know we haven't covered a whole lot of high school stuff yet, so let me just give a quick shout out to some friends that were really important to me in middle school and early high school, whatever. Guys that I tend to gravitate towards, quiet, shy guys because, my persona is a little bit more out there. I have more charisma, so it's easier for me to hang out with people that are quiet and good listeners. I like good listeners. And I just want to say hey real quick, and I haven't seen these guys in forever, and they're not even my Facebook friends, but I know Clay Weddle, you're out there somewhere. Your wife is my Facebook friend, and I see photos every once in a while. Hey, bud, how you doing? Thank you for being a good friend to me. I mean it. Josh Huckabee, same way. Pardon me, I'm listening to Adele here. I'm kind of... Josh Huckabee, good dude. You're a good friend. And maybe one day we'll be able to connect and chat again, man. My cousin, Chad Christian, man, he was always there for me in high school. You need a friend, you call him up, he's there. I know he's my cousin, but I'd like to consider that he was a pretty good friend of mine as well. And I know he'd still be there for me today if I needed him. Also was Brian Toth. I know Brian's going to watch this video. What's up, my dude? I love you, man. We're coming out there. We're gonna go camping or something one weekend. We'll go check out the Wichita Mountains. I'd like to say, hey, I hope Michael Davis is doing okay. I know he had Corona, COVID-19, whatever. I hope you're doing okay, Michael Davis. And then, one of my current friends is just always there for me when I need someone to talk to. And he's kind of a quiet feller, too. Kind of silly, like me. And that's Robert Davis, man. Thanks for being a good friend. So we shouted out to the good people. Let's talk about the bad people. And as soon as I got out of high school, I graduated, and about 2 weeks later, I went to basic training. And when I went to basic, people tell you about how hard it is and everything like that. And people tell you how mean they're going to be to you. But, I really didn't even just see it coming. I get in there, and out of this whole 300 people in your basic training, and, I end up with this. Hold on, I'm going to get a message popped up here. Get that off. I ended up with this drill sergeant that I swear, I don't remember the exact height of this guy, but I think he was about 5'4", and I don't even remember his name. And to be quite honest with you, if I did remember his name, I wouldn't even tell it to you. This dude was just the scum of the earth. And granted, I know that it was his job to be that way. New Adele song here. And I know it's his job to be that way, but the guy went above and beyond to make sure to torment me and to really treat me like crap. And, for me, I always felt like it was because I was tall and skinny at the time. I was, 6'2", 185, 190 pounds. And the guy was just really mean. And and not just because he's a drill sergeant, he'd get up in my face and he'd be spitting in my face. And he'd come up to about right here. So he'd look up at me with that hat, and he'd be spitting in my face. And it was just mean on a regular basis, just mean just to be mean. And this was back in 1998, whenever they could kind of do some of that stuff and get away with it. And I'll say that the dude was just awful. He was awful. But when it was all said and done, at the end of the graduation of basic and AIT, I shook the guy's hand, and I thanked him for what he did to me, because, the fact is, you learn from even bad people. You can learn from bad people, and don't you ever forget that. Don't just run. Don't get in a situation where you're around bad people and you just run from it because they're bad people. Learn from them. Learn what not to do. We'll talk more about it in a minute. So I thought after basic training, this was all over. I thought I was good to go. I was going to escape this little short man and get away and just go have someone new and bring someone new into my life. And I got stationed in South Korea, and I get to South Korea, and I've got this new squad leader. And this guy was about 5'4", 5'5", little bitty guy. Just his Staff Sergeant Dale. I've even spoke to him since then. I looked him up one day, and I sent him an email. And just mean guy. Joined the Army in the late 80s and just had a really bad mentality, a negative mentality. Part of the mentality that the military just harbors and fosters and just spews it out on just young men and youth of today, and just this negative mentality. And he was mean. And I'm not talking about mean to everybody. I'm talking about just mean to me. Mean to that other guy standing next to me that's 6 foot tall and skinny. There's a pattern. They're starting to create a pattern here. We're seeing what this little man syndrome is. We're seeing how these little short people are mistreating bigger dudes because they're jealous. It's jealousy when we're equal. You're in a leadership role. Teach that young man how to be a productive young man. So we got through Staff Sergeant Dale. That was an experience. I learned a lot from the guy. He did it. He pushed me. He pushed me every day to be the best me. For whatever reason, he singled me out. And boy, he got it through. I didn't have a choice. I had to accept it. The acceptance to learn how to deal with it. So, shortly after that, I believe me, I've come across a lot of bad people, a lot of short man syndrome. Then a few years later, I run across, and this is a very important person in my life, and that was Staff Sergeant Cates. And many of you that are going to watch this video know who Staff Sergeant Cates is. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't understand what I was talking about before, then after his name, you do. Just a mean, miserable man. A pessimist for life. But you know what? I've got a place in my heart for those people. I learned from those people. For whatever reason, for whatever pain and whatever sorrow those people had in their lives, they were still people. They were still human beings with a right. And I made sure and I extracted every bit of positivity and positive energy, however you want to say it. I extracted that from each one of those people to make me a better person, to learn not to treat people that way. I look back and I think about somehow the way people are starting to tear down some of these statues and stuff. You've got these Civil War statues or whatever, American statues, and the people were into slavery and or this or that, whatever the reason may be that you want to take the statue down. I want you to remember that this is a part of history. You can't erase the way you were treated. You can't erase what was done, what was said. That's history. Keep it there. Keep it there to learn from your mistakes. And I pulled this up, and this was just, I put in here on the Google search, what do you learn from bad people? First of all, you learn what not to do. You learn how to be self-motivated. You learn sharper communication skills. That's what we're doing here today. You wonder, why does this Jason just yap and yap and yap? And why is he pounding communication into my brain? Sharper communication skills. It forces you to be clear, concise, and willing to negotiate. They often lack patience, so you have to be able to make your point quickly. You must also learn how to read your manager's body language, which can be a great nonverbal indicator on how they're reacting to your ideas. That's something I learned a little bit about, some of those nonverbal cues about how to react and judge from these guys. They're clearly different people than I am. So I learned how to navigate and communicate around that. You learn the interpersonal and conflict resolution skills, and you learn how to build your own team. So there are positive things you can learn from bad people, whether they're your drill sergeants, squad leaders, co-workers, your boss at work right now. Maintain a positive attitude about it, okay? Because it's not all negative. The only person that's going to make it negative is you. Don't let someone else's behavior and mentality tell you who you are as a person. Take responsibility for your own actions, okay? I hope some of that, it was a little scatterbrained today. I'm not feeling myself, but I wanted to at least bring some content to you along the lines of what I'm trying to achieve. It's all about communication. It's all about being a better person. It's all about the power of positivity, and it's all about mind over matter. I want to talk about mind over matter really soon because it's near and dear to my heart because I'm a true believer in it. Keep coming back. We'll get that mind over matter video, and I got a whole lot more coming to you. I just got to get my head right this week and get over these allergies. We'll talk to you later.